So then, Vlog 10. Welcome everyone. Obviously a milestone episode, not just because of the number, but because we've announced the Matabele ants finally, as I'm sure you'll have seen. If not, where have you been? Exciting times coming up, not just for Empires of the Undergrowth, but the entire repertoire of games under the Slug Disco banner. So we'll have Dan up shortly to talk about everything, and I'll be talking Empires as usual. I've put aside a special creature reveal for this episode, so look forward to that later on, after we've gone over the other stuff. And it's not one of the ones that was leaked a couple of years ago. Just before I pass over to Dan, I'll talk a little bit about the Earth Appreciation Festival, which is starting on Monday, which is a couple of days after this vlog will go live, which will feature all of the games in the Slug Disco repertoire, with a nice discount on the ones that are currently purchasable, and a portion of the sales for Empires of the Undergrowth and Ecosystem during that sale will go to ecology or conservation charities. So as usual, before I get onto the Empire stuff, I'm going to pass over to Dan, our Head of Product Marketing, who's going to talk about Ecosystem and Green Again, and a little bit about WASD Festival, which is coming next week.
Cheers, Mike. So yeah, I'm here to talk about all things publishing here at Slug Disco as usual, and we've got quite an exciting schedule ahead of us. So the first thing to mention is all of our games are going to be at WASD, or WASD for short. Let me know how you pronounce it in the comments below. But yeah, the event is running in London from the 25th to the 27th of April, and all of our games will be there to be played. Primarily though, we will be showcasing Green Again and getting some player feedback for Mate, the developer. It'll be the first time he's managed to actually observe people playing the game, and all player feedback like that is just invaluable. You can't get that online. It's just great to actually be able to stand behind someone and watch them play your game. So that's quite exciting. But the next big thing next week as well is the Earth Appreciation Festival. So when this starts on Monday, we've got two updates going out to our games. So the first is Green Again. That's getting a visual update. So the Sproutling characters that were included in the game in the previous demo that's live now, they're all getting reworked, as is the UI and also some of the kind of world generation as well. So previously, like how it is now in the live demo, is the world is a massive hex shape, but we're just making it a little bit more rounder, make it a bit more visually appealing. And same with the fog of war as well, that's getting a visual upgrade. And then the UI has had a full refresh and rework. And then Ecosystem, the behavior update is coming out on Monday as well. This has been in beta for a little while, and if you've managed to play and test it, thank you very much. All that feedback has helped Tom make a better update. This is a major update for Ecosystem, and it changes the way the creatures interact with the world and with each other. So for example, they will school together and they'll swim around in schools now. Shules, skulls, who knows. And also they have bioluminescent displays, so they'll glow and communicate with each other that way. And they can also vocalize now as well, which just sounds great. Tom's got this really cool procedural vocalization system that lets a sort of procedural dynamic whale song be generated by the creatures. You can see some of that in the trailer which we're showing now. That trailer will go fully live on Monday alongside the update. But yeah, that's all from me this month. It's quite an exciting month for all of our games. Be sure to check out the Earth Appreciation Festival, play the new Green Again demo update on Monday, and why not check out Ecosystem while you're there too. Thanks for watching, and back to you, Mike.
Thank you for that stellar performance as usual, Dan. Liking the new camera, looks great. So now to get on to the exciting subject, which is Empires of the Undergrowth in spring of 2024. Let's go. So those of you who like to follow along, I'm sure you've seen a few weeks back we announced the Matabele ants, which is our final focal species for Tier 5, as well as their setting, which is the savannah of sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been sat on the secret for a long time, although it's probably been one of the worst kept secrets in indie gaming history, considering there was a leak a while ago. Not naming any names for that, of course, but at least it wasn't me. Thank you to everyone who's sat tight on that information for quite a long time until we were ready to start showing things off. And now we're very much in reveal season. So let's just go through what's been talked about so far, and then we'll get onto the special reveal that I've saved for this episode of the vlog. So, Matabele ants, termite-eating specialists. And termites, in fact, are central to Tier 5 entirely, not just for the Matabele ants, but everything else revolves around them. But Matabele ants are pretty much obligate termite feeders. They will be able to take food from other food sources, but it'll be vastly reduced, so their only practical source of food is termite nests and underground pockets of termites that they'll find as they excavate their own nest. So in some respects, the Matabeles have some similarities to leafcutter ants in that they are very specialised in what they can take food from, realistically. There's termite mounds dominating the landscape of their levels. Matabele ants are one of the very few invertebrate species in nature that show helping behaviour amongst family members. So ants injured on the battlefield will be brought back to the nest and restored to health. And we have a special medic class for that. In the game, this mechanic will work in a way that will allow you to increase your numbers beyond your tile limit. So ants will be able to live a second life with reduced stats. And it's the medic class that you'll be able to use royal jelly for to unlock in the Formicarium. The two variants of them that you'll be able to select from are called Anaesthetist and Fast Responder. Not going to say what they do just yet. You'll have to wait for 1.0 to see what those two do. So termites, Macrotermes bellicosus, who are the termite species we've chosen to feature, the food source for the Matabeles, are even closer to leafcutters in lots of respects. They are fungus farmers. They collect plant material from the surface called lignocellulose. Once it's in the nest, one of their casts will do a partial digestion, which mixes the plant material with fungal spores and allows it to then grow fungus in a very similar way to how leafcutter ants do in the third tier. Their whole production pipeline for food is fairly complex, and although it's simplified compared to reality, we think we're quite proud of it. They work very well, and we think you'll enjoy tussling with them in Tier 5. And then eventually we hope to bring them into free play as well. But that probably won't be until post 1.0 release. We've still got a bit of work to do there for like AI and things. But we do hope to bring the termites into free play eventually. It's not just the Matabele ants that are partial to a termite or two. There's also African stink ants, which we revealed a short while ago. They build shallow tunnels near the surface, which helps them get close to the termite nests. They have very strong pheromones, hence their English name of stink ant. And they have an ability whereby, even though they're usually solitary hunters, as they are in real life, they will use their pheromones to call over nestmates if they're in dire situations. So you'll have to think twice about when you want to engage them. Otherwise you could find yourself with quite a group of them on your hands. So the savannah setting in which Tier 5 is set in, which I think is lovely, and I've had lots of fun taking screenshots of the savannah. It's dominated, as I said earlier, by termite mounds, several of them per level. And the number of termite mounds will play into the storylines of the levels as you play through them. African savanna isn't quite a desert, but being an equatorial savanna, it has a wet season and a dry season. Our levels are set very much in the dry season. There isn't much in the way of water, but there is fairly abundant plant life. There's lots of grass about. Savannas are spread out tree lands with open canopies with grass. That's kind of their defining feature. So the environment is very much reds and oranges with splashes of green from the grass. And of course these cathedral-like spires of the termite mounds, which is the defining visual element of Tier 5, I think. It looks wonderful, and I'm really proud of the work that the guys have done on this environment for both its creatures and the environment itself. So, onto the creatures we've revealed so far. We will get to the new one soon, don't worry. First up, we've got earwigs, which are a common species. You'll see lots of them, both on the surface and underground. The Matabele ants don't get much food from them, obviously, but they're, your persistent enemy that spawns regularly, and you'll encounter them pretty much everywhere. Like in real life, this particular species of earwig is European and Asian in origin, but can now be found naturalised more or less everywhere that humans live. Would it even really be an Empires of the Undergrowth major update without a new kind of tiger beetle? Sorry, Tier 3 fans, it wasn't a real update. Doesn't really count. But it's a very pretty species with lots of metallic iridescence, which apparently is useful for both camouflage and reflecting the heat of the sun. It is a daytime hunter in a very hot part of the world, after all. And like other tiger beetles, it's fast, it will chase down after ants actively, and be a general menace in the daytime. Sometimes old reliable is just what you need, the player knows what they're going to get when they see a tiger beetle. So on to the first titan that we revealed for this tier of the game. For anyone who's not familiar with our internal terminology, a titan is what we call a very big creature that gets its own health bar that appears on the top of the screen. So the first of these is the sun spider. Terrifying looking things. You might know them otherwise as camel spiders, which was all the rage on the internet about 10-15 years ago. lots of myths surrounding these creatures, that, you know, they've got the most powerful venom known to man, or that they can strangle a cat. Sounds like an alien cryptid, but it's really not. They're quite fast as far as invertebrates go, and they've got a habit of chasing shadows because they just want to get out of the midday sun when they get disturbed during the day. But they are nocturnal mainly. They might give you a nasty nip if you're a human being, but they're not really dangerous to you. But if you're a Matabele ant, they're very capable of killing several of your colony members at once with those double slicing jaws, which makes them such unique looking creatures. I kind of love them. We gave Fraz on YouTube a special build of the battle arena so he could have a play with the sun spider, so you can see some of its animations. I'll link his video down in the description below. Well worth a watch. He thoroughly tests the creature in the battle arena. Then we have the alligatorback scorpion, which is in fact a medically significant scorpion. In real life, if you happen to get stung by one of these, then you'd certainly want to see a doctor about it. Pretty sharpish. But that's not the reason we chose it though. We really like its look. You can see why it's called alligatorback with the wonderful mottling and patterns that it's got on its kind of flattened back there. It's got some really lovely animations. I love this one where it picks up an ant and stings it before putting it back down again to die. But when it's not using that execution style move, it will use its stinger during normal combat, which will paralyze its opponents temporarily. So it's certainly worth having a large group before you take on one of these nighttime beasties. Man of the Ants revealed this creature a few weeks back. We gave him some footage and he did a lovely little commentary with some facts about the creatures, so I'm not going to steal his thunder too much there. I will again link his video down below. Go and check his video out. And most recently we showed off the rainbow lizards, which are Agama africana. These are cold-blooded creatures that love to bask in the sun, so they'll be daytime creatures, and they'll certainly get in the way of proceedings if they're not dealt with before they build up in large numbers. They represent our first foray into reptiles, so we've had amphibians in tier 4, and now we've got a reptile in tier 5, which is lovely. And finally, time for our Vlog 10 creature reveal. Drumroll please. Here it is. The Emperor Scorpion. I love the scientific name for this one. Pandinus imperator. Isn't that great? Love the way the narrator says it as well.
Pandinus imperator.
It's great, isn't it? So the Emperor Scorpion, yes, it's another Titan class creature, a very large one that will get its own health bar. I don't want to spoil its role too much, but this is the famous big scorpion, which is beloved of keepers around the world. It's large, it's imposing, it's got big crushing claws, that's its main strength. It does of course sting, and if you're an ant that's very dangerous, but this sting is not particularly dangerous to human beings, something in the region of a bee sting. So unless you're allergic, it's unlikely to do you much serious harm. Again, a really impressive creature. I love the artwork that we've got for it and its animations. I'll show a couple now. If you'd like to talk about the Emperor Scorpion, pop into our Discord, again linked down below. I'm sure there's already plenty of talk going on about it. People have been asking for scorpions in Empires of the Undergrowth since day one. Since before day one. We were a Kickstarter project before that. So we thought we'd give you 2 for the final tier. I'm really glad they're in. I think they're wonderful looking creatures, really imposing, and quite important to the story. So we'll see you for 1.0 to find out exactly what's going on with those. In a few weeks' time, Slug Disco will once again be attending Antcon in Carmarthen in Wales. A few of us were there last year. This year it will be myself and Heyman, our new product marketing manager. We had a great time last year, seeing lots of ant species. Liam did a presentation about turning ants into a video game. If you've managed to get a ticket for that, we very much look forward to seeing you there. We'll be there on the Saturday. Something that the community have organised themselves is a challenge video series. A bunch of Empires of the Undergrowth content creators came together under their own volition to set themselves a challenge, and they all recorded videos and have put them up on YouTube. So I'm just showing a few clips from those now. Thank you to everyone who got involved there. It's really wonderful to see the community just self-organise like this and do something, completely extracurricular, as it were. We've had no part in organising it. The first challenge is called Erepta's Pinnacle, which is a free play challenge invented by Ungar. Go and watch his video, he could explain it much better than me. But it's wonderful to see these things just happen. It's been wonderful to see that, and what more could I ask for as a community manager, really? And there we go, that's vlog 10. It was a long one. I've not been given permission to give the release date for Tier 5, which hasn't changed since we said we've got one in mind a little while back. But you're not going to have to wait much longer for that. Just keep an eye on our socials. There'll be a trailer that announces the release date in the fairly near future. You're not going to have to wait too much longer. But thanks very much for watching. As usual, there will be a newsletter next month with more stuff for Tier 5, no doubt. I'll see you soon in the savannah. Bye-bye. Matabele ants, wonders of the savannah of sub-Saharan Africa. Oh, how I love thee. Shall I compare thee to a savannah day? Bus just going past outside. I do live in a town with lots of buses. My dog has chosen this exact moment to clean certain parts of his anatomy. I'm going to give him a minute. So camel spiders, terrifying looking things. You might know them otherwise as camel spiders, but go and check it out. After you finish watching this, not before. Tesla is preening himself again.